Good evening. Oh, is it working here? And that 2 seconds. I'll get rid of that. Sorry, it's just a slight issue with that one. Yeah, we'll move that one. Oh, Twitter is deciding that it's not
Yeah,
gonna go on. There we go.
yeah.
Good evening, everyone.
Good evening. Good
Welcome
evening.
to the
Evening.
Hugh Hatrick Show, and a very special show indeed, because we are back with the Sim Motorsport Association, the SMA GT 500 Championship, the stars of Tier 2. Welcome, Ghost Rider, TNR Vortex, Robin, and Wookie Khan. It is great to see you. How are you all doing tonight?
All
Ah,
good, all good.
fantastic. And yourself?
Very well indeed, and very excited to be interviewing you tonight on the show. We had a really successful show last week where we had Tier 1, and many of you guys have been in Tier 1. We saw you in the early days when it was battling for positions before everything was locked up, and the championship was then settled for the tiers. But it's been great watching the races. Now that we're getting towards the end of the season, how is it looking? I will start with you, Vortex. How are you finding the championship? And are you enjoying the races? And how are you doing in the title?
No, I've been enjoying it. It's been such a big challenge, big learning curve for me. I joined TNR late last year, so it's been a huge learning curve. I used to think that I had decent pace until I joined these guys, and then I saw there's 3-4 seconds a lap that I've been missing out on all these years that I've been playing GT. So no, it's a great experience. It's a quality experience. My teammates, they've helped a lot. It's an honor to be part of the TNR team and to be part of the SMA. It's been fantastic.
It's good, isn't it? The racing is close. It's very tight and some good overtakes. And I'll go to Ghost Rider. How do you find the moves and the kind of the capabilities of your competitors? Are you enjoying the season, and how is it playing out for you?
It's quite a difficult season, even if you're in pool two. The level in pool two is like anybody can win the race. In pool two, like every week we had a different winner in pool two. So it's up and down there, but there's still like about 3-4 drivers in the title for pool two. So I've enjoyed it. It's been tough. The first 2008 cars was a bit difficult for me. But other than that, I enjoyed it.
And so, what was it that kind of brought you to SMA? I'll ask Salim. What was how did you find the SMA? And how did it all come about?
Well, my whole team basically jumped in, so I was kind of feeling left out. So I wanted to join in the fun, and it looked quite exciting. TNR versus a whole bunch of top teams in the country, and we just had to do it. Long races, strategy, improving racecraft. I did it to improve my racecraft as well, and it's been. I didn't expect to be in the second group, which is quite tough. And you've got the tier one, who are the mega aliens, as we would call them.
Yeah.
And tier two, I kid you not, it is extremely tough. There's, like, I echo what Marvin said. There's been a different winner. There's so many fast guys in our own team. In the other teams, the competition is relentless. I also struggled with the 08 cars a bit. I'm more comfortable in the 2016 cars, but it's been tough. There's no easing off, but it's exciting. It's been mega and awesome. It's been a wonderful thing to be part of.
Yeah.
And that's how I got roped in with my team.
I mean, I have to say, because we've been obviously commentating on tier one, but with the races that have changing conditions, I mean, like the one on Monday there, where you had all that rain at Spa. I mean, it's a real challenge. Drying tires and keeping if you're on intermediate tires, trying to find wet patches, and then also trying to stay in front of your competitors, isn't it? There were so many overtakes and groups of cars that were very, very close, and the spray. How do you find that? I mean, GT7's weather applications are quite new and still kind of forming, aren't they? They're still kind of evolving. How do you find racing in the wet? Is it something that you quite enjoy? I'll go to Vortex. Don't worry, I will come to you, Robin, as well. But I'll go to Vortex for that.
Yeah, no, I enjoyed the rain. The tire choice was obviously critical and when to do our pits. But sliding around in the rain, trying to control the 600 horsepower machines, it's entertaining. Yeah, the weather effects are very good. From light rain to heavy rain to then drying up track, where we had to go find the wet spots to cool down the tires. No, it was awesome. It was an eventful race. I had 2 incidents, but yeah, that's racing. It's racing. But no, I enjoyed Spa, and Spa is obviously one of the ultimate tracks. And to do that in the rain, it was great fun.
Yeah. Well, here's the thing. Now, I'm quickly going to say to all watching, you can put your questions to us and to the drivers here and to Robin as well, and I will read them out and put them to the drivers. So I'll quickly put that in the comments. Let's see here. Yeah. In the comments here. Right, and we'll see how we go. Now they're actually calling me. They said, "Why am I so slow in the snow?" So that's referring to. I'm actually Captain Slow. So if he's watching, he'll be saying I have to dispute his name because I'm the genuine one. For something when it comes to time trial and Late Louise. I was saying earlier when I saw Late Louise come up this morning and my heart dropped as I thought, anything else, please, for a big stream, not that one. But that's what we got. That's what we got. So in terms of GT7, it's a great platform for the SMA Championship to take place on. What are your kind of favourite combinations and the kind of games that you play on GT7? What's the kind of races that you like? I'll go to Ghost Rider.
Well, for me, I like the GT2 cars, like the 2016 cars, but also a bit of GR4, GR1.
Yeah.
I like the race cars. I'm not so for the road cars. I'm more for the race cars. In that sense, yeah.
And to Salim,
rain. With the rain, I'm a bit scared for the rain because I don't like the rain because I haven't been able to master rain like pace wise. But other than that, the learning on Spa was something good for me. Especially when we had to do the last stop because I knew everybody was going to use wets, and because I needed to get ahead of Robin, I went on Inters and I got ahead of him, but he got me back. So it was a whole switchback.
See, that was the big question because I had that for Levitas in their interviews last week or on Monday there because I thought they would go on the intermediates for the last bit because for what we could see on our little weather warning and when we can see it when we're on board with the cars, it looked like it was very similar rain to what had been in the early part, when they were on the intermediates. And I thought, maybe they might use the intermediates, but then they all went on the wets, and they looked like they were really struggling on the wets. But then Levitas said he was okay. That he said if he'd had the intermediates, he would have been off. So obviously you've done enough practice between the two, so that the wet tires were actually better for the conditions at the end than the intermediates. Was that the case? I'll ask you, Salim.
No, it wasn't actually because in testing we found the wet tires to be just as unstable, especially the front. Like under braking, the car would just slide, and with the intermediates you kind of had that as well. But all we needed to do was nurse it for those few laps in the extreme wet, and we made a team. Well, Ghost Rider decided mid-race, like, okay, let's change it up because we practiced with wets in the end. Let's go on intermediates, and we all made it through. And the guys were spinning off and going off. Even Robin went off on full wets, and we stayed on the track with Inter. So I think he made the right call there. So we found it opposite to what everybody. The full wets didn't work for us.
Ah, it's interesting.
And we were in different cars. I was in the Honda, and Ghost Rider was in the GTR. So it was the same for both of us.
Yeah. No, that's interesting. Now, I'll quickly go to some of the comments and questions that we have here. We've got Neil Pretorius in the comments. Good to see you, Neil. And it's a question for TNR Vortex. What is your favourite track? It is either Monza or Spa.
Yeah, no, he's right. I actually know Neil. How's it, Neil? Yeah, Spa is definitely favourite. And I like Trial Mountain as well. But Spa is pretty much number one.
Yeah. Oh, it is a great track, isn't it? And it was a really good race to commentate on. Now here we go. I'm looking for the questions here. As Captain Slow has come in. You're battling. Your name has been, well. I might have to give you a lawsuit because I think I am the original owner of that after my time trial experience this morning. They're all saying I'm so slow, and we got Flawed Genius in as well. Good to see you, Sean. It's good to see you all. In fact, we've got over 22 in the stream so far, which is fantastic. So you can put your questions to the drivers here as well. Now, I'll come to Robin, who is, we were talking earlier. Robin, how are you finding the SMA Championship in terms of the way it's evolving and the drivers are performing? Are you pleased with the way it's going?
As a driver, I'll comment as a driver and as a member that the hype in the community is actually it's very good. I think SMA has only been able to be successful because of the members that are supporting it, and it's just great to see that we we producing some seriously good races, and that's what it's about. It's like Tino Vortex said when he came into the team, he was 3 seconds. I'm sure you're not 3 seconds slower now, and you're seeing the drivers improve and the chemistry is right and going forward with our MSA things. I think the SMA community is doing very well.
Hmm. Yeah, yeah. No, I mean, I think I have to say, from what we've seen, it's great to see the battling and the way that they drive. They have so many really good overtakes that are clean. Obviously, the drivers are now trusting each other, which is really good. And
Yeah.
it's great to see, even in lots of different combinations and conditions, it really does tend to work well. I mean, it's kind of how do you find looking at the championship? Did you think it would be as competitive as this? Or did you think it would be, certain drivers would pull ahead? Because you're saying in tier two, it's incredibly competitive. I'll put that
So
through.
the league has brought in new drivers with new teams, and so I mean this community hasn't been they've been racing together for quite some time
Yeah.
with previous leagues, so they all kind of like know each other. The nice thing was that we obviously had TNR come in, and they've got a huge amount of good drivers, and so I think Levi made the reference to I think last season the gap between him and B2 and 3 were quite big. It's now been reduced to like in certain races 2 seconds. So the pace and this is in all the tiers really. It's just nice to see that. I think also the format that was created that you in lockdown. I think you kind of like be in a tier that you were with the same pace of the drivers, they're kind of like all in the same pace. Like in
Uh,
tier two, I know for sure that I have to be at my best because there are 14 drivers that are on the same level, right? So, and like you said, that proves because we've never had a consistent podium. There's always someone different winning the races, and that makes
yeah.
it exciting because if you don't practice, I know if I don't practice, I know Marvin's gonna kill me, or
Yeah.
even Wiki. It's really good going, and the racing is good. It's clean. Obviously, in the rain it was difficult. Um, I got knocked off on turn one.
Yeah.
I was hoping he'd be in the stream. I got knocked back down to 12. But to explain my race to the viewers is actually because it was amazing because I got knocked back down to 12th, right? And I thought, oh, bugger there, that's my race gone. But it just shows if you actually get back in your car and you push and you just focus. I think by lap 7, I was back with the front back. And then by lap 17, I was leading the race. And
Wow.
I don't know why I lost it on the last lap. Marvin was probably behind me, probably the pressure of Marvin that I burned on the last lap. But it was so much fun though. I really enjoyed it. It was nice. It was good.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh,
You,
that's
you did
fantastic.
if I can just say, you did a
Yeah.
great recovery drive there from. I mean, I saw you spinning at the back, and then all of a sudden you were fighting with me, and I let you through because you seemed a bit quicker in that stage of the race, and then you were gone. So well done.
Yeah, and that was the nice thing about this whole race for me, and I can actually like bear witness to it, is that I overtook quite a few drivers to get back to like the top place, right? And every single one, if I had the inside line, he would give me that position because that's the right thing to do, right? Because in the rain, it's no use you're going to try and defend in the rain. You're gonna, with a full
No.
damage race, it would be silly. So rather just tuck in, and that's what every single driver did. As soon as I was alongside on the inside line, there was that respect and that understanding that okay, I'll give you this turn, but I'm gonna chase you for the next one. And
Yeah,
I think
yeah,
that's the racing that SMA would want to promote is clean and fast and fair. I'll give you this turn, but I'm going to try and challenge you on the next. And Spa's probably one of the best tracks to kind of race like that, because of the straights, obviously, and then also at the hairpins where there's lots of overtaking opportunities. So it's a great track to to drive with these boys. I had real fun with them. It was really nice. Tier 2 I want to stay in tier 2. I'm not going anywhere else.
No,
yeah.
you need to leave. You need to leave. Yeah, you're taking up space there on the top.
Now I've got a quick question for Ghost Rider from Sir Mags. They're saying, is their birthday marked on that calendar behind you?
No, it's an old calendar.
He wants to
Clearly
see
not.
his birthday on there. You need to show it's marked.
Yeah, that's it. Clearly, no presents for Sir Mags this year, I'm afraid. But no, that's the thing. And let me quickly check through. Question for TNR Wiki: is a Fanatec wheel a cheat?
But no, controllers are. That's for Captain Slow. Controllers are definitely a cheat. Not the Fanatic.
Well,
Takes
you
a
know
lot
what?
of skill to drive that.
Oh, the thing is, one of my friends, Arky's74 on YouTube. He uses a controller, and he was 6/10 quicker than me on the time trial this morning. He's just got a knack to get. He's always within the top, maybe the top 30 or 50 in the world now on the time trials, and I just don't know. And he's in his 50s, older than me, and I think if I'm in my 50s, there's no absolute reason why am I so slow? So you can see it's not sitting well with me today. After this morning's one. But no, it is good. Here we are.
You'll have to give yourself some time to adjust, man. Trust me. I
Yeah,
flipped over to Fanatic about 2 weeks ago, and I'm not exactly where I want to be. I'm comfortable using it, but I'm still looking to find pace because there's so many settings, and I know I
Yeah.
haven't used the T598 yet, but I know that there's quite a bit of settings there, and you need to dial it in for yourself, and you
yeah,
need to give yourself some time, and it's actually a steeper learning curve than you think. Even though you were on the wheel, you're now on a direct drive wheel. It's a different
yeah,
ball game. So
yeah.
don't
No,
feel bad.
well, the funny thing is, I'm quite good on Formula One. I had a few weeks ago, or a couple of months ago, we had the Autosport International Show in Britain, down in Birmingham, and I went out. I've been there now twice, and one of my friends who he does a lot of sim work, his company is sim staff. They actually work with Williams Formula One, and they had 20 F1 sim rigs set up, and people were just coming and going on these rigs and trying to set a fast time. Well, I managed to get a time in the top 10 on F1
Oh,
24.
Wow.
well done.
So
Nice
yeah, it
Well,
was
stuff.
like
well
I
done.
was at it was at Silverstone, and I think I did a 1:27.9. And at first I thought they're not going to
So
believe me. They just thought I made this up, because you go to the stewards, you're all about 18, and and they all and they looked at me and looked at my thing, and they said, "Oh, it was on there." They could see it on the thing. So I actually got into the race. They had a kind of final race on the Saturday, and
wow,
out of 9 of them, I came 7th, which wasn't
wow.
too bad. But it was funny
Nice.
because I think they
Awesome.
could have added all the ages up, and they still wouldn't have been my age, So for the guys that were in it, it was quite fun. But no, the F1 that was on it using a Fanatec wheel. It's just a nice game. It's a game where you can kind of just jump on and drive. It's quite light and quite kind of. It does have a feel, but it's a really nice. It's not an arcade game, but it's just a really nice. If you like Formula One style cars
Mm.
to race, it's really good. And that's a
Yeah.
question I'd like to bring. Obviously, you're using Group 2 today, and for this championship. Are there other cars, like other racing cars, like maybe the single seaters? They've got the new Formula One racing car as well that they brought out a month or two ago. Would that be something you would like to maybe race in the future? Who would like to answer? I'll go for Vortex.
Yeah, I enjoyed the time trial that we had a while ago with that. I think it's the F3500, that Formula One car that they brought around Monza. And I mean, the time difference between my friends list and obviously our team members and yourself, we were all within hundreds and tenths of a second from each other. So you'll have 40 people that are less than a second apart from each other. So I think that will make very close racing. So yeah,
Yeah.
I'd be in for that.
Yeah, no, that's great. And just while I've got you on there, I've got someone called Kresh who's in the comments. So good evening to you, Kresh. It's for you, for Vortex. How did your name come about?
So I actually got that from Call of Duty days. Yeah, I enjoy a bit of Call of Duty on the side. Not so much these days because SMA is keeping me very busy. But yeah, no, it was just a name that I've had for years, and it stuck. I used it as my PSN. So basically, yeah, it just stuck. It had a nice ring to it, so that's why I used it.
That's a good name. Good name. Right. I'm looking through the comments here. We've got Llewellyn Phillies in as well. And we've got Keith Onu all the way from Arizona in America. And we've got German Kiwi in as well. German Kiwi, good to see you. Now one of them said I look like a younger Frank Williams. So I've responded saying, yes, I just wouldn't mind having his bank balance. That's if I could look like the
The
same.
two of us.
That would be all right. But German Kiwi, he's very often in Tidney's videos when he does the Monday reviews or the weekly reviews, and he's normally on pole position on race A. He's very good at race A, and he's not far away from me on some of the other ones as well. He's catching me up. But now we have a question for Nick. Where did he find the Jack Sparrow cap he has put there?
The Jack Sparrow cap. I actually bought this in Thailand when I went to Thailand. I was looking because I like the Rockstar brand. So I found this in Thailand in 2012 when myself and my wife went there for honeymoon. So yeah, that's where the Jack Sparrow cap comes from.
I thought you were going to say Pero, but okay. You got it in time.
Yeah, that's
You get everything in Coronados.
Sparrow and a cap.
And here's a question for you: how do you find, because obviously you're on the wheels, using wheels in the majority? How do you find going back to controller? Have you ever had to use a controller if your wheel's not working, and you've had to go on a controller on PS5 on GT7? How difficult do you find it if you've ever had to use that recently? I'll go to Ghost Rider.
Very difficult, very difficult. I used to on PS4 on GT Sport. I used the motion sensor, but on the PS5 I haven't tried it yet. So I don't know. I'll just leave the lap if my wheel doesn't work.
Yeah, I think I would have liked to have done that this morning if I could have done, but there wasn't any choice for that. No, that's the thing. But and to Salim, have you ever had to use a controller other than a wheel?
No, I would have bought just the same as him. I flipped over like a few years ago to a wheel, so I can't even complete a single lap now on controller. I can't do it. So I'm done. I would rather than not do it. That's it. I can't. It's terrible. So,
Now, in terms of GT7, I mean, every time we get a new game, it improves quite a bit. Or maybe there's new cars, new tracks, things like that. What would you like to see in GT8, for example? I'll ask you, Robin. Actually, what would you like to see in GT8? Do you think there'll be any major steps forward, or what do you think might come?
Well, firstly, I think with tracks, I think I speak for quite a few South Africans. It would be nice to have some of our local South African tracks in the game. I envy the ACC guys when they see Killarney and stuff like that. I feel it should be. But with regards to the improvement of the game, there's so many things that I'm sure I would like to see. Simple things actually. Some is not really telemetry back to wheels, but more simple things like if I go into a lobby, can I not just change my oil there? Do I have to go out of the lobby? Like to go and change my oil of my car, like that type of thing. And look, I have a T300, so I think I don't have too much to say about force feedback coming back from the game itself. But I do believe that that would probably be quite a huge improvement, because I think when GT8 comes out, they'll probably look at shutting down the PS4 console, which is kind of like holding
Yeah,
back the progress, I believe, of
yeah,
GT7,
yeah.
because of they're trying to crossplay. And so I think with GT8 and the PS4, that will obviously not being able to use for the game, I think there's going to be huge improvements.
Mm. In fact, Keith Bologna said the penalty system, and for any of you that play the daily races in your spare time, it's kind of the opposite of SMA Championship racing. They don't let you overtake on the inside or the outside or any side, don't they? They kind of push you off. They kind of weave around. They don't wait for you if they've bumped you or whatever. They kind of do the opposite. But what do you think of the current penalty system? I think it's maybe not as bad as it's been, but it can give some crazy penalties. I'll go to you. Who would like to answer that?
Penalties.
Who does dailies?
The yellow flag when somebody's off and you overtake the person in front of you. I mean, what can you do? You have to overtake. You can't just back out. As a game,
Yeah.
it's not something real life. Nobody's gonna get injured,
Yeah.
and then you get a 3-second penalty for overtaking somebody, but the other person went off.
Yeah.
It can be. I think actually Kiwi broke his finger because someone crashed into him, and he hit the
Finally,
ball, and because the
well
feedback
done
was
to
so
that
hard.
person.
Yeah, it was a.
Ouch.
I'll let Kiwi come back to you for that one. But yeah, and now here we are. Now, here's a good question for you: can sim racing drivers use their MSA license for GT7 at Killarney to watch robot to robot racing? That's right.
I'm not going to answer that.
Yeah. Oh no, that's a thing. That is a thing. That now we had a very funny question here. It was from Mbape Kians, if I'm pronouncing that right.
Pape
MBAP.
Kins.
Mbape Kians.
Pepe.
Here we are. It says Ghost
Pape
Rider.
Kins.
Just call him Babyface. Just call him Babyface. That's what we call him.
It says, for Ghost Rider, how come you are so fast? You are so fast that you even smoke and drive, or drive with one hand at times.
Putting you on the
I'll let
spot,
you answer.
Yes,
No,
I'm more relaxed when I smoke.
He also sips a cup of coffee on the streets. Eh? He's quite.
Now,
He's got
don't
that
give all the
skills.
secrets.
Very relaxed.
That's how
My
fast he is.
And Neil, Sean has said, normally they drive down the middle aiming for a strike. Yeah, almost like 10-pin bowling, isn't it? How they do it. But Neil is in the chat as well. Good to see you, Neil. Good indeed. Now, let's see what we've got here in. Simon Jerry's in the chat as well. Simon's a great guy. He's been in our community for a long time. So let's see now. Are there any questions that you would like to ask each other? I'm not in terms of incidents past or present, but are there things you would like to ask each other? What would it be? Will I go to you, Vortex? Do you have any questions that you would like to ask Ghost Rider or Robin or Salim?
So from the Puma team perspective, do you guys acknowledge TNR as the strongest team in SA?
No, not at all. Next question, please. No, I'll answer. Hold on. Let me answer, because I think everybody knows I come from TNR, right? So, and it's great to see them progress, and credit to them, because they're quite a big community on their own. I was telling Don this morning, I said, just as the way you guys are going, you can open up your own league, right? But it shows progression. It shows that we're growing the sport. It shows that we have more sim drivers coming and joining up and helping to grow the sport. And TNR is doing an amazing job, but they're not better than Puma, just letting you know. We're just taking a break. Taking a break this season.
I'm pulling your leg, Robin.
Now, look here. It's now Sir Mags is saying, why is Wiki giving us the rock eyebrow all the time? That,
It's a natural reaction. What can I say?
Do it.
And here's a great question from TNR Captain Slow. He says, question for Nick. Who in Pool 2 is a good contender for Pool 1?
Sure. I would say anyone in Pool 2 is a good contender for Pool 1. When we do our team practices during the week, we practice together, all the tiers together. And like yesterday, we had a guy from Pool, what is Lawrence? Pool 4?
Pool 3. Pool 3.
Pool
yeah.
3. And he won by quite a significant margin when we did our practice race yesterday, just as an example. So, yeah, I would say anyone in the pools. It's up to the driver on the day.
Yeah.
100%.
And here's a good question from Shahida Mame Khan. I hope I pronounced that right. Question from Wiki. What is it like to compete against your wife in the championships?
Wiki, that's for you.
I knew that one was coming. Sure. It's terrible. Honestly, it's nerve-wracking. Sometimes when your wife actually kicks your butt on the track, it's when she started, she wasn't on the same pace, but she's so competitive. She's way more competitive than me. That she closed the gap, and now honestly, there's times when we're doing the Quali Kings. Like this week, she's miles ahead of me. But there's sometimes there isn't much between us. Like depending on the combo, she might beat me, and there's absolutely nothing I can do. So I had to swallow the bitter pill and just get over it. But yeah, that's awesome because we're in the same hobby, and she literally sits next to me with her own setup. So yeah, it was difficult in the beginning because she's a gamer, and I forced her to get into GT7, which was my mistake. So it's my fault. So I can't really be upset with her for that. And then she just got good at it because she's so competitive. Once we started doing dailies together, and she saw she could beat other people, the bug like hit. She's not really into cars and stuff where I'm into cars and all of that. And she started just competing and getting pole positions. And one day for her stats, I think she was an oval track and she had 25 poles that day, just to show you how much races she did. It was crazy. And so it was nice to see her evolve and then compete in other championships, international championships that she competed in, and actually do good. So yeah, like to answer the question, it was difficult at first, but I've made peace with it that sometimes she can beat me, and that's that. Nothing I can do about it. And she can beat anybody in the team sometimes as well when she's, the combo suits her. So yeah.
She got a podium last week, didn't she?
Yes, I think so. And the week before, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah,
the previous
she's been
week.
doing well. No, well done
Yeah,
to Mommy Khan, for sure.
That's brilliant. That's fantastic.
I thought Wiki was gonna blame me.
Oh yeah, sorry. When we're doing Quali King, so Marvin usually shares his ghost replays, and I kid you not, she will catch up to that ghost, and sometimes she will actually beat his ghost, but only his ghost. So I blame him, and then his ghost is usually quicker than the time that I set. So I'll be quietly nervous. I'll be quietly nervous once he shares the replay with it. Like, oh God, here we go. But yeah, no, it's awesome. And no one else can relate in the team, sadly. So it's like a unique position. I would like to see other guys, their wives also competing with him. But I'm grateful. It's the amount of hours that we play. My wife's not upset with me because she's right next to me also gaming and putting in the same amount of hours, if not more than me sometimes. So it's a unique situation where the other guys have to make family time for their wives. No, my wife is right there next to me in the party chat racing with. So it's awesome.
100%.
Yeah.
Well done to that.
That's fantastic. That is
I
brilliant.
like that.
Now I've got a question for Robin, and it's from Sir Mags, and she's been trying to ask this for quite some time because she says it's attempt number 731. When are you inviting me for coffee and donuts? Sir Mags.
Coffee and donuts.
Yes, to your house.
I think Corbin has been to my house already for coffee and donuts. I think it's time that they invite me for a coffee and donut.
Maybe the donuts was that good that they wanted more. I don't know. Sounds like he wants more.
I got the recipe from one of the teen odd members, and then I made the donuts, right? And I think they didn't believe me at first, but because it was a specific type of donut that I wanted, and I can't remember who I got it from, and then I made it, and it was great, but they didn't come for donuts, unfortunately. I don't think they did.
Well, I'm sure they've been raving about your donuts for a while, so I don't know.
Okay,
Maybe
then they
he
must
needs
have.
to be invited again.
Now we've got a question from Conroy Blicky's Dweepy Vester. That's a long PSN name there. Well, for a PlayStation name. that is not easy to read. Even a newsreader would struggle with that one there. It's, now he says, Sir Hatrick, how did Wiki get the nickname John Wick Muscle? Is it because he likes American V8s?
Do I really have to answer that? Absolutely not. I don't like American V8, and he's the one who gave me that name, so that's where I got it from.
Right. There you go.
Right.
There you go.
You-
An easy answer. Now let's see. Question. German Kiwi has said he keeps getting asked to join teams. What are the benefits of joining a team? That's a good question. Robin,
Joining a
as your-
team.
yeah.
I think it's obviously, I think for me, when I joined, let's say when I joined Puma, it was it was a great help for me because you get to kind of like learn how to create your racecraft, and you need help with that. You know, you always need a faster driver to give you the tips and show you. And I feel that there's besides off the track being part of a team, there's also that there's a nice chemistry, and kind of like a small little family kind of uh, vibe going on in the teams, and you can see it in SMA. The teams are like really close. You see it in the lobbies. They're always practicing, and that's nice because it keeps the men at home, keeps them in their rigs, and it keeps SMA busy. So yeah, I think teams is always a good thing, for not just on the track but off the track as well.
That's a good question and a great answer. And we've got a question for Ghost Rider from Crash. He says, when are you getting your wife a wheel so that she can pick up GT again?
That is my wife right there. I don't know when the time is right.
That's a very good question.
I'm
When
confused.
the
My
time
wife's
is
looking for
right.
a female partner, bro.
Yes, I know that. I know that. I'm working on it. I'm working on it.
Now,
Sweet.
Rue has made the mistake of saying to Sean of Flawed Genius Gaming, he said, "Are you slow also?" Oh my goodness, Rue, you don't say Flaw is slow. Sean is very, very fast. A plus, and streams on Twitch, does some very, very fast times. So yes, no, he's very good. Now, Sir Mags has asked for Vortex. When last did you water that plant behind you?
That plant is in 120% health, I'll let you know. That thing survives all seasons. From the deep south, from Alberton, everything here is stronger. So don't worry about the plant's health. But thank you, Sir Max. That plant's full season, 4 seasons.
So you should worry about your health instead.
Yeah.
So if any one of you wins the championship this year, what are you going to do to celebrate? What would be the thing? I'll start with you, Vortex. If you win the championship, what's going to be your celebration?
Jeez, if I win the championship, it means all these oaks must disconnect from the race for the following 5 races. Then I might say on. But yeah, no, I mean, for anyone to win this level of championship, you deserve whatever you're going to do for your celebration, you deserve it thoroughly, because I'll tell you, this championship's tough. It's a tough championship.
And
But
for
yeah,
you,
no,
Ghost,
yeah.
sorry. And for you, Ghost Rider, I'll ask you the same question. What will be your winning celebration if you take the title?
I have no idea. To be honest, I'm not even thinking of that. I just want to get through this next few races clean and get podiums or wherever I can finish up high.
Yeah. Oh, that's the thing. Now, out of the remaining tracks coming up, I think we've got Daytona as well coming up, haven't we? Daytona is one of the race tracks. What are your thoughts on that? Because that's it's a tricky combination doing Daytona. I mean, I know the oval is more straightforward, but when you've got the kind of loop and the interior track, what do you think of Daytona? Oh, who would like to answer that one?
So
I'll give
I'm
that to
driving the
Robbie.
Lexus. I'm not going to say much. I feel I have kind of like a donkey in a horse's race, to be honest with you. But I love the track because, especially on turn one, it requires skill to
Yeah,
to have consistency in a race like that. And also, what's difficult is because it's like a slipstream race and kind of like a bum draft type of track, which we see regularly on the dailies. Well, obviously, we're not allowed to bum draft, and even at
yeah,
Spa, it's like to develop the craft to know when to lift in slip so that you don't get reported for bum drafting, which then also slows you down for the driver who's in your slip behind you. And at Daytona, it's going to be quite difficult because you want to try and stay in slip, but you can't bum draft. So that's going to be a challenge. Um, but I'm looking forward to Daytona. I would like to try out and win that one for sure, 100%. One of my favorite
yeah,
tracks. Yeah.
yeah. Yeah, I've been to Daytona. I've done the tour. I've actually done the tour twice. That once back in 2008, when I was only 30, I was 33 at the time. And the funny thing was, I was there with my good friend, and he got the tickets for me, and we went waiting in next to the booth where they had the tickets. And the chap, the member of staff, said, "Would you like one standard adult and one senior?" And he looked at me and thought I was a senior. I was only 33. So
Oh my God.
and I said to Jonathan, "Well, if I get money off, I'm a Scotsman. I'll take any deal, you know." But so that was the thing. But
Discount.
it was, but it's like it looks on the track in GT7. To be fair, the sun, you know, when it's like sunset at Daytona, it just looks magnificent with the palm trees and all that kind of stuff. It's actually a really great circuit. I'd love to go in as a race on and see what it's like. We once went in February, and the Daytona 500 is on.
Yeah.
I think not too long before that, or maybe early February. I think it was on. But we unfortunately we weren't there for that event. But it's a great track actually, and the atmosphere's electric. It's great fun. That now we've got a few great questions here. I will quickly check them all there. I will come to Conroy's question in a second, but we have a very good question from Llewellyn. Has Puma anticipated this much intense racing from the drivers of this season so far?
So Puma's always been a consistent team because that's kind of like what we try our best to do is to have pace, but we focus more on consistency. And with this season, it's quite clear with the '08 and with the 16 um, that I don't think if you put it down to just your quali lap and you compare the GTR to the Honda, you won't be able to get into like the front three with the Lexus. So you naturally from the beginning of the season you starting at the back of the grid, right? And that shows in the tier one races. In the tier two, I feel there's a bit more leeway for the Lexus because obviously, I'm not saying that the tier two guys aren't qualifying well, um, but with racecraft, you can take the Lexus and you can do well, you know.
Yeah,
And that's
yeah,
why I'm enjoying the tier two because I feel like I can still take that donkey and be competitive. Um, and but I think Puma will always remain consistent and we race clean and we race fair, and that's
yeah,
all that we're there to do. Fair, clean, and fast. That's Puma.
yeah.
Consistent.
That's a good motto, isn't it? No,
Yeah.
that's the thing. Now, Conroy Blickey's Weepy Bester, that wonderful long name on YouTube, has asked me a question. I said, here in South Africa, the T598 is like a myth. What is your take on it so far for those in South Africa who would like to buy one? And is it worth the buy? I would say it's very good. I mean, it's coming from a Logitech 923. It's it's like going from a Dacia to a Porsche 911. It's like, it's a completely different machine. There's no cheap plastics or anything like that. It feels beautifully weighted. There's so many settings you can adjust it to what you like. I was actually 3 seconds a lap slower when I first got it because it was doing all sorts of things until I got the actual settings for GT7. It was quite difficult, but I do think it's good value. Over here, it's about £450. So it's kind of midway, because if you want like a Fanatec wheel and pedals, some of their bundles are about £500 upwards, and it's certainly a big step forward from the Logitech G923. I know they do the DD Pro, which is about £1,100. But no, I think this is quite a nice wheel in the middle, and it certainly it's maybe I get much more enjoyment from the few hours I've had so far using it than I've had in years of using the Logitech 923. I think actually, to be fair, G29 is better than that. So yeah, no, I think when the Thrustmaster becomes available, it's probably quite a good wheel to have a look at and see what you think. But you can get most wheels in South Africa, can't you? I think, because what are you all using tonight? What's your wheel of choice at the moment? I'll go to Vortex first.
Yeah, so I'm on your X wheel, the 923, but it's doing the job. Obviously, I'm still new to sim racing. I only started late last year. I only made the transition to wheel earlier, like 3 months ago, I think.
Okay.
So I've only been on wheel for 3 months. So I'm definitely going to look at upgrading to Fanatec as well. The problem in South Africa, you can't go to a store and go buy a Fanatec or a Thrustmaster T598. We basically, on our market, we have the Thrustmaster T300s and downwards, and we have the Logitech G29 and 923s. Anything else, you need to go to like Simulator Cave, and we obviously pay a premium in South Africa for Fanatec. If you consider the rand is at 25 rand to a pound now, it's going to cost you a pretty penny.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, no. So I'm on a 923.
Yeah, it's interesting because when I had a G29 for a long time, seven years on a G29, and so it was reliable. I have to say, it was good that way. And then when I got the 923, it was a bit better in some ways, but I just found that it had a few reliability issues, and that's why eventually I couldn't really trust it. It wouldn't change down, so that was my only issue. But it lasted me about a year and a half, and then this is the new one. So hopefully this will be reliable. But do you think, talking about wheels and pedals, do you think certain brands make the difference on GT7? I'll come to you, Salim.
Okay. I have been using Thrustmaster since I flipped over. I used the T300, and then I used the load cell pedals with that for a few years. And that was excellent for me. And then I upgraded to the TGT2 Thrustmaster as well.
That's
But
a good wheel. Yeah.
as Nico was saying, Vortex, it wasn't that easy to find. I got mine, through a bargain somewhere, and the ecosystem, and I really wanted to go T598 because of the value, and that it would have been my first foray into direct drive, and it was more affordable. But it wasn't that easily available, and then a DD Pro came along my way a few weeks ago, and at the bargain with a load cell, so I had to take it.
Yeah.
But I think the Thrustmaster is a good range to flip over to anyone. It's affordable, it's solid, especially with a load cell pedal. Even if you're using a T300, the load cell pedal really makes a difference. You can control your braking and go quicker. But obviously, if mine is no object, Fanatec is the way to go.
Yeah. The T300 is selling for about £130 at the moment on Amazon in the UK, which is a bit of a bargain. Now, Robin, you've got one of those. Have you got a T300? Is it or a
Yeah, I
T?
do. I do.
And how do you
Um,
find that?
so I've never had a wheel that's not belt driven. I
Yeah,
think the gear driven wheels, which initially was something that I was going to look at, but then I was warned that they make quite a bit of a noise, and your wife's going to kick you out the house if you're racing late at night and keeping them up.
yeah,
I like the T300, and it served me well. But I think what makes any wheel really is the brakes, right? So the
yeah,
TLC and pedals, and if you know how to trail brake, I think you can probably race against any Fanatic setup.
yeah,
Um,
yeah,
but look, there is different. There's definitely advantages to having a more like Fanatic type of setup, and I'm sure all our sim drivers would like to at some point get to the direct drive wheel. But for me, because I've seen, and this is something I wanted to discuss, especially with the guys that
yeah,
have changed over to Fanatic, is because the national perception is okay. I'm gonna go and spend 50,000 rand right now, okay,
mm.
and I would assume that I'm going to be a second quicker. Wiki, is that the case with you? When you thought about purchasing and putting quite a bit of money into it, you going, okay, so this is going to make me a second quicker. Eh, did you
Um,
go
uh,
in with that type of
no,
thought?
okay, so I had a different perception because I had teammates who flipped over, and I got their feedback first. So I knew exactly what I was getting myself into.
Yeah.
It's not like an overnight thing that you're gonna go quicker. I mean, I'm struggling now. I'm not even on the pace I was, I think, on my TGT2,
Oh, is
especially
it?
with the quali king track this week. I can't drive the car. I can barely control it. It's a road
Oh,
car, and I
is it?
haven't dialed in the settings yet. The
Okay.
SMA races I was able to do and manage, and it was okay. It was the GR2 2016 car was easy to control, and I could see the benefits there. But no, I didn't go in thinking, oh, I'm going to be a second quicker overnight. I'm actually
Yeah.
saying I have my learners now because I'm learning how to drive it again. I'm comfortable
100%.
with it, but I'm still looking for the pace. And I did think it would be a little bit easier to adjust, but
Yeah.
it's going to take me some time. Like even the load cell of this and the thrustmaster load cell is
Yeah.
completely different. And then I
Yeah.
even found I had like a setting wrong in the game, and I've
Oh
got
no.
short travel, and I have to stick with that until the competition is finished, and I need to relearn how to break again after that.
Oh bugger.
So
Okay.
no, I didn't think overnight. I mean, I would like to be a second quick because that would put me close to the tier one guys, and
Yeah.
maybe it is possible with this kit, but not overnight. So if
100%.
that answers the question, but I know
Yeah.
some other people may have thought, hey, I'm going to buy it, and then tomorrow they're second quicker, and that's not the
Yeah. Yeah.
case.
Now, I've met quite a few some drivers that they do believe that better, and look, rightfully so, because you would think that you're gonna at least gain some pace with spending quite a lot of money, right? And all I've seen is, like you said, it's going to take you 3 months. It took me 3 months to go from a normal T3PA to TLCM because there's such a big difference, and you definitely
Yes.
get slower before you get faster. And I think
Yeah,
that's with all
exactly.
upgrades.
If I can
Yeah,
just add one more thing with the Fanatec, the benefits there from it, like if I can quote a Whopperman, Ibrahim from the team, when he
yeah,
flipped over, he told me straight, look, the Fanatec is so customizable. You can set it up as a T300 or something else, if that makes any
100%.
sense. So you've got this whole scale of settings that
Yeah,
you
yeah,
can adjust to, and it's about finding your sweet spot in between. I'm not there yet. Obviously, we are no, and I mean I've gotten settings from Ghost Rider that's helped a lot
mm,
with the GR2 cars and GR4 cars, but I'm still
yeah,
finding my way. But the point is, I will then be able to customize and set things up to my liking, and that should make you quicker.
yep.
So what you're
Agree.
paying for is the quality of that tech and that ability,
Yeah,
where
yeah,
you cannot do that on the T300 and stuff like that. You just have that
100%.
force feedback in game, and that's it. The
Yeah,
T598 though will have some of those kind of settings. So
yeah.
yeah, watch
I'm
out
quite happy with my
for you.
T300. No, I'm
So,
happy with it. She served me well, and the brakes, everything's good. And
so
I've
can I?
won championships with it, and I've won guys with Fanatics. So I believe in my thrustmaster. I'd rather take my wife on a holiday than buy me a direct drive wheel.
So can I just jump in quick?
Yes, of course.
So I came from a Logitech G29, and I was quite quick, but the only problem I had was the consistency, and I started to get pedal issues, and shipping stuff from UK was a problem that time. So I just decided I'm gonna switch over to Fanatec, not to get faster, just because I had enough of the wheel and the pedals problems and problem after problem, cleaning out all the time. So I just switched
Yeah, that
over.
is a
I
nightmare.
knew I knew I wasn't gonna be faster, like 2 seconds or 1 second, whatever. I just want consistency, and that is what I'm aiming for most of the time. Like
100%.
before on the Logitech, I could do maybe 6 laps in a row, like within a tenth, 2 tenths. But here I
Yeah,
can actually do like 10 to 12, maybe 13, 14, 15 laps, like 2 tenths, 3 tenths within
consistent.
each other. So that is all I'm looking for, not for like to be 2 seconds faster. For me,
Yeah.
consistency is more. It's better to have consistency than to have 2, 3 good laps and then the rest is all like a whole second slower, where you can just lap within 2 tenths, 3, 4 tenths of each other. That's all I'm looking for.
And you don't need that ton of compressed air to blow the dust out of
Y- Yeah,
the brake.
exactly.
I've got a great question here from Sean Klassen. He says, "Do your wives know how much your wheels and pedals cost?"
Yes, of course.
My
Come
wife
on,
told
honest,
me
my
to go
wife
get
is
it.
that.
she's watching.
I can answer that for Sean. His wife doesn't know what his wheel and pedals cost, but I'm going to inform her on Facebook.
That is the thing.
Mm, mm.
Now, German Kiwi has made a very good comment. Says what made him faster was the switch to a load cell pedals. And I think that is now. Is that can you get a load cell attachment for the Thrustmaster? I think it's for the T300, isn't it? You can change the pedals on that.
Yeah,
It's
Yes.
yeah, because I know that on mine I had to put the springs in when I was trying to build it, and it felt great actually putting in a bit that actually you could feel the tension. And when I first built it, I did it the wrong way round, so my accelerator was as tough as anything, and my brake was far too light. So I had to put it the right way around and redo it again. A bit like Jeremy Clarkson, from Top Gear. He just takes a hammer to an engine and says, I'll try and fix it. My DIY skills have probably been my biggest improvement since I've tried to build sim rigs over the last few years. I even bought myself an electric screwdriver just to show the wife, look, I'm good at DIY now. I'm getting better than I
Thank you,
was.
man.
But isn't it? So that's the essentials of what you need when you're trying to build a rig. But yeah, I was going to say, do any of you have what kind of rigs do you have in terms of the seat type thing? Do you have, is it Omega or is it like Fanatec? What kind of things do you use, or do you just have a desk and put your wheel on the desk?
I have my father-in-law made me something out of his scrap that he had at work. So it's a
cool.
rig, a bolder one. And I just
Yeah,
Nice.
I've
bought
got
a seat.
okay.
All right, so you just bought the seat. But how about you, Robin? Were you going to say what
Yeah,
do you
no,
have?
I when I started a couple of years ago, I was like, the wife actually was so nice to put a design together, and so we built a couple of rigs. Some of them are still with the drivers out there in Cape Town, and it's served me well. Yeah, it was built for the ergonomics. What I see with the rigs is that some of them, the ergonomics of where you want to be as a kind of like in a GT3 type sitting position. It's kind of like
Yeah,
for me, I feel it's almost like more F1 type
yeah, for
kind of
some
like
of them.
ergonomics, and
Yeah,
so I built my own according to how I wanted to feel and be comfortable because we spend a lot of time in these rigs, and
yeah,
you can get some backaches if you're sitting in the wrong positions for long periods of time. So this one was built according to my back and my requirements, what I felt I
ah,
needed. So that was nice because with a custom build you can do that. I think with the
yeah,
wheels that are coming out on the market, besides them being expensive, they kind of like set to a degree. The ergonomics you can't really change. You can slide your seat forward and back, but with regards to the tilts and the ergonomics, you can't change. So custom builds are
yeah.
for me, I think a good way to go forward.
Yeah. Have you seen the new Fanatec Club Sport rig? It's just been
No,
launched. Oh, it
is it?
looks amazing. The white with it, they do a black one, and then they do a white one, and
Yeah.
it was on Kira's channel.
Oh yeah, yeah,
He was rating it, and the white one looked absolutely amazing, because it just showed everything up, and it's like a GT one. You sit quite kind of relaxed
yeah.
in it, but it's not as low as a Formula One rig.
Mm.
But oh, I thought as soon as I saw that, it was I started to dribble. It was that kind of like, it was so nice. I thought, I want that with a proper, with a proper wheel and pedals. It looked
Yeah.
really, and the seat looked incredible with that kind of lovely material that they've put on it, kind of breathable material and stuff. And I thought that'd be great in a sim racing centre. That would be the thing. But we've just hit the hour mark. For our tier 2 drivers, so I know it will now be 9:15 in South Africa. So I don't want to keep you guys up too late,
Yes.
because I know you do lots of practice, and your wives will also be telling you play enough games. Now you need to look after your families. So it's I know it's in bringing our interviews towards a close. What are you kind of looking forward to as the season now is getting towards the last 4 races? What do you think is going to bring the biggest excitement over the remaining races? I'll go to you, Ghost Rider.
I don't know, probably the last race, because we don't know what it is as of yet. So that could spice up things. So
Yeah, it's going to be, because there's some surprise combinations coming. Because that was the thing, because when they did the surprise combination before, it was also a Group 2 car. And I thought, oh, that's because I thought they might use something else. But no, it would be interesting, because there's so many combinations in GT7. It could be a race car, could it be a road car? We'll have to wait and see what comes out. But I'm sure that's just another way to make a very interesting ending to the title, and see how you all get on. But I do wish you all the best for the title, for the Tier 2 championship. It's been great fun tonight being able to talk to you, and see how it all began. And you're welcome to come on the show again anytime. So I was saying that to the boys last week. In fact, it was Fish, who was Vars Vartavis, who I thought I want him for my video so I can say I've actually got Sebastian Vettel, because he looks a spitting image of Sebastian Vettel. So I'll say, look, I'll even pay for a Ferrari suit if he puts it on, and I'll say, look, I've got Sebastian Vettel on my channel. Even as an accent, I'm sure we could do something there. And my channel will finally get monetized. But it would be the way to go. But no, it's been an honor and a pleasure to have you on the show tonight. And I'm sure for everybody watching, it's been great fun. And thank you very much for your questions. In fact, Sir Mags has said, Hugh, when are you taking on the Tier 2 boys? Well, they'll have to put a date in the calendar. I'm sure Sean will drive away from us all, I'm sure. But I might just have a chance to hang on to your tails.
That's right. Mark it on the calendar there. Mark it on the calendar behind you when you's coming to take
We
us
will
on.
have to do that.
There we go. Let's go.
And Mabate Keynes is saying that Batman is behind the curtain. So I don't know, Robin, is that referring to your curtains there?
But yeah, just from our side, just thank you for getting this interview going, and I love the fact that all our tiers can get in, and I think it's good for South African sim racing, because we need to show ourselves, and if you're looking at our streams, I've got comments from a lot of international leagues that the boys are the racing is good. It shows growth, and through your channel, we can get some more people looking at sim racing in South Africa. So thanks for that, I appreciate it.
Oh, you're very welcome.
Thank you.
Very welcome indeed.
Thank you for having us, Hugh. It was a pleasure and an
Thank
honor
you.
to be here. Thank you from my side and TNR. Thank you.
Yeah. Oh, anytime at all. And Sir Mags has said, I've got to mention Sir Mags. He says, I'm the only D-rated driver in the comments section. But
that's fake, by the way. That's a fake D rating that he has. Just I'm putting it out there.
We've probably got three other ratings as well.
Oh, fantastic. Oh, that's great. And Florida said Sebastian Vettel and Frank Williams this channel is going places. I would like to share that hope. I'd like to say, no, that's fantastic. Well, thank you very much for coming on the
Yeah.
show,
Thank
you
you.
guys. Stay on the
Thank
line
you,
as
you.
we
Cheers.
bring it to a close. And for everyone watching and listening, it's great to have had you with us tonight. I hope you've enjoyed the show. It's been a pleasure to do it. And come back next week. We will have Tier 3 on the channel. So there'll be more of the same. But have a wonderful week. And our motto on this channel is drive fast and try not to crash. Bye just now.
Good night, boys.
Cheers. Bye.
Cheers.
Bye.
Cheers.